Greetings everyone. Today we're going to study about the topics of network configuration 1. You will be able to understand about the IP addressing and subnetting. Be familiar with the network equipment such as a layer 2 switch and routers and their configuration procedures. Students are understanding about the symbol of LAN or local area network that are connect via switches and are able to design such a network. And lastly, students are going to understand about the visual LANs or VLANs and are able to design ones. So let's talk about part 1. Setting the internet bridge. In this experiment, you're going to study and configuration about the MikroTik switch. You will receive the internet from the ISP at the port 1 or internet service provider. And then you have to configuration this switch by using LAN connect with your computer and connect at the port 2. Once you have done it, you should be able to receive the internet at the port 5 following the diagram. And if you get your personal computer like this, lastly, you have to get the internet as well. Let's talk about how to back up your old MikroTik files using the Winbox application by choosing MAC address of this MikroTik switch and then press connect. You will open the files in new terminal tab. Then you can type the command following system backup save name is equal to the any name. In this case, I will type the VLAN underscore and date of today. If you press enter, the file will be in the file list. You can place your file into a desktop or anywhere you want to. You will go into the system and press reset configuration. Then click this no default configuration and press reset configuration. You will wait for a while and that's it. After we reset everything, we will go to configure the MikroTik switch at the start. We will log in by username of admin without password and then press connect again. We will going to start to create the WAN and the DHCP server to allow internet in our LANs. First step, we will go to the bridge list, then press bridge and click plus. Then you will type the name as a WAN, and we will click apply and do it again for create the bridge internet. The bridge WAN is the internet that we are going to create the port at the interface 1 or E2 or the internet 1. Then we press apply and OK. We will do it again with the bridge internet as the requirement of your lab sheet. So in this case, we will decide to choose for the port 5 and press apply and OK. So the port 5, we will be able to use the internet when we connect the LAN cable. Then we will receive the DHCP client by going to the IP and then the DHCP client. You will select the WAN interface and apply. You will get the IP address as following this one. And then we will gonna setting the DHCP server so we can spread and give the IP to our LAN. Before that, we're going to create the address list by going to this one and press and type 192.168.10.1/24, which is a prefix and suffix, right? You can create any things like .10, .11, depends on your requirement, and choose the interface as a bridge internet and applying. Then we can go to the DHCP server as we want to. By press the DHCP setup, choose the bridge internet and next. In this case, you should be able to change the DNS server into 8.8.8, and that's it. After we finish the DHCP server, we will be going to the firewall and going to the net and adjust the source address to 192.168.10.0, and then we'll go to the action and focus on changing the action to masquerade, and then we'll go to IP and DNS, change it to the same 8.8.8, and you can create a secondary as 8.8.4.4. I will transfer my port LAN into the port 5 to test that it can be able to use the internet. Let's see the internet WAN that we get into. After I decide to change the LAN into the port 5, I'll go to the window and network. And change adapter connection. So you will get the property and the detail as a port 10 as we designed to. So let's check about is that possible that we can get the internet. And that's it. You can see that I can type to Google and test speed or anything I want to. Step 5, we are going to configuration the VLAN at the MikroTik to allow the transport to send the internet to the out2 switches. I will go to the bridge and click plus again. I'll type the bridge VLAN and press apply. Now I get bridge VLAN. Then I press the interface and click the VLAN to set up the VLAN. Then I'll type the name as VLAN2 and ID to 2. I will create the interface bridge VLAN as the VLAN ID 2 and the VLAN 3 as the bridge VLAN. Then we will get back to the interface menu, and then we will have the VLAN 2 and 3 inside of the bridge VLAN, right? We can adjust more data. I will type the VLAN 2 data. In this case, it will be able to send the data only without internet, but VLAN 3 it will be able to use the internet, and we're going to the DHCP server by IP, and firstly we're going to the address list and type 192.168.20. In this case I type 20, which is not the same as 10, and decide to change the interface as a VLAN 2 data. And I will do it again, not the same as 10 and 20, and decide to change the interface as the VLAN 3 internet. After we finish to create the IP, we will going to adjust and create the DHCP server by press the DHCP menu and DHCP setup again. We choose the VLAN 2 data and next. Again, we will change the DNS server as 8.8.8 and we do it again as a VLAN 3 or the VLAN 3 internet. Once again, I will note that VLAN 3 will be able to use the internet but 2 cannot. And then I'm going to do DNS and NAT, and again I will change the action to masquerade. You should be able to understand what the masquerade is, and change the source address to the VLAN internet that we want to. We can comment or note that what it is, and port 10 is the internet, right? So I can comment it as an internet. Now we're going to select the port by going to the bridge and select the ports, which one that we want to. As a bridge VLAN, I will add the interface 4 as the VLAN, and we press applying. Next step, we're going to set up the switch L2. By the way, the port LAN have to connect with the default port in the program that we have to remember, and this switch link has the IP as the 192.168.1.200, so we have to change the LAN to be the same by going to the property and change the IP address. And then we can use our LAN connect to the default port. In this case, I'll choose the port 23. If you're not doing that, we can't be able to enter it. Now we can use the username and password as the admin. You can see that the default at this port is 23, which has the VLAN IP as the 192.168.1.210. We are going to reset everything by going to the configuration management and then restore the factory settings. This process will take a minute. Step 7. L2 switch configuration. This switch has an IP is 192.168.1.200. We have to change the IP to the same. So we're going to the property and change this IP address to the same WAN, this one, and the last must not be 200. Then we're going to configure the switch. We go to the VLAN management. We're going to set up the 2 of VLAN. We have to remember the default port. It is proposed for setup or configure anything about this switch. If we don't use this default port, we'll not be able to configure this switch. So we're gonna click new VLAN and we will select the port. In this case, I will decide to choose the 1 to 6. Following this picture, and we will set the VLAN ID as 2. It has to be data as a specification in your lab sheet, right? And then we're saving and do it again for port 7 to 12 as a VLAN 3 or the VLAN internet. This 6 port must be able to use the internet. You can see that now default port is the port 13 to 26, which allow us to configure this switch, right? Then we're going to set the trunk port. But we're gonna set from port 23 to 26. Then we save. After that, we will use our LAN to connect the trunk port with the MikroTik switch. Following the step 8 in this diagram, so we will use the LAN cable to connect with the port 4 of the MikroTik switch and port 23 or 24 of the L2 switch as a trunk port. So you can see that the VLAN 2, which is a port 1 to 6, will be able to get the port 20 IP address, and VLAN 3, which is the internet port, from port 7 to 12 will be able to use the internet as the IP port 30. Now I use my personal computer connect with the VLAN 2 data, so it should be receive the IP address as a port 20. So let's see how it's work. After I set the IP address to automatically, if you click detail, you can see that I received the port 20. So it will not be able to use internet, but we will be able to connect or talk between in the same WAN. Then I will do it again with the VLAN 3 or the VLAN internet. I'll choose the LAN cable into the port 8. So once I have done that, I will check it again. So we can just wait for a while to let our computer to refresh and receive the new IP address. Now you can see that now it is port 30. So if you want to check that it is possible to use the internet, we will going to check by going to the Google, and you can see that it can be able to use the internet. So that is all for today. Hope you guys understand the real experiment and theory about the network configuration and IP address. See you in the next week.